Now, there are a lot of medical stories and studies published every day, and one that is trending today says that eating processed meats can cause cancer, but throughout the years, we've been told a lot of different foods are bad for us, only to have new studies contradict the old studies. So here to help us know whether we should stop eating Little Smokies and bologna is one of my favorite medical experts, Dr. Tess Mauricio. Dr. Tess, welcome back to the show. Okay, you just lie to me or something because I
love bacon too.
Okay, but let me say this. So yes, we get it that like the processed meats, and I think it's the nitrites or whatever, are bad. But what if you buy the organic bacon that doesn't have the nitrites?
I was just gonna say that.
Okay.
It's the preparation, and because we want to keep our food like good forever.
Right.
But really, if we get it, you know, like the old days, right? The old-fashioned way, where you have, you know, you have it there and you prepare it and you just kind of smoke it and dry it. Then it's fine to eat at moderation, because obviously as a doctor we worry about cardiovascular disease, you know, weight gain and all of that, and cholesterol issues. But as far as the nitrites and all of those preservatives that are usually included in processed meats, that's what we worry about as far as cancer.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm at least relieved to hear that. So if people will look for organic, you know,
it's
meats
just
that
the preparation.
don't have the nitrates and the preservatives. I guess that's the big thing. And you know what? I don't really like those as well anyway. It's a little more expensive, but you don't need to overindulge anyway. Well, so it's that nice accountability that you have to pay a lot more, so maybe you're going to eat a little less.
It's really true, and we're lucky here in California because we do have a lot of those organic kinds of foods now. So just all about choices and moderation.
All right, I'm kind of relieved to know that. Another study says that cheese, the effect on the brain is as addictive as drugs, and I think they even used the word heroin, which blew my mind because heroin is known to be so addictive.
Heroin, right? And well, you know, there is a protein in cheese and all milk products called casein, and that is, you know, converted somehow in the brain, and it releases opiates called casomorphines.
Okay.
And basically it activates our dopamine receptors similar way that all addictive, you know, products and substances do normally. And this is why when they did a survey as far as addictive foods, that Yale did this survey, pizza was #1, and they think it's because of the cheese. And so, gosh, what are we supposed to eat? Like La Pizza.
I know, they're taking away all the fun stuff. You get lettuce for the rest of your life. I think in beet greens or something delicious
just a little
like
bit. That also explains, you know, why once you get into this kind of eating habit, it's very hard to break. Same thing with sugar. They've done studies with sugar where it's more addictive than cocaine. Yeah. And they did the you know, mice study. So sugar, cheese, again, all moderation. You know, there's a reason why they taste good and we like them.
I think the next segment I do with you, we should just do it on what can you eat? Because I think there's pretty much nothing left except lettuce. All right, another study shows that a light meal during labor is a good idea. Does that mean hospitals are going to start bringing in pizza for women?
Because I actually asked my husband, I said, did I have a snack when I was going through labor? And he's an anesthesiologist. And he said, no, you know, because the worry is aspiration. You know, God forbid you have to go and have an emergency labor surgery.
Them starving us before labor.
You have to be what called NPO, nothing by mouth, just in case you have to be put under general anesthesia. So this study is basically saying, well, if you are a low risk pregnant woman, then maybe you can have like clear fluids, because it's very tasking to the body, right? The whole labor process, and you're starving and you're dehydrated, but there's still kind of that, you know, you gotta weigh, because if you do need that emergency surgery, it will be a problem for your anesthesiologist if you have eaten a big burger or something.
So if you do, just don't tell your anesthesiologist. That's what you're saying, right? Her husband's this is gonna cause marriage problems now. All right, another interesting study shows that people who receive text messages about staying healthy can actually cut their risk of heart disease. I don't even get this.
That's amazing. 700 people in Australia, you know, this is a study in Australia, and basically after their heart attacks, one group got monthly healthy texts like, oh, don't eat too much, you know, salty foods, walk, you know, that kind of thing. And what they found was, you know, this group actually had lower blood pressure. They actually gained less weight, and many of them actually didn't smoke. And so these, you know, friendly reminders actually sound like it helps.
Fascinating.
The only thing that's not good for your heart, I was thinking, is like a breakup text. So, you know, not
yeah,
all
those are not
texts
good.
are
No,
not
they're
good for your
definitely not
heart.
good. All right, one other study. Smoking weed raises your risk of stroke. Dr. Tess, there are a lot of people out there, especially in Southern California, that smoke a lot of weed.
Well, this is kind of an interesting study because what they found is that they looked at actual the brain arteries, so the blood vessels in the brain, and what they found is that smoking pot will actually create plaques and narrow those blood vessels, and that can increase the risk for stroke. It's around 45% for those who smoked weed and 14% for those that didn't. And then what they found is that the ones that had stroke were much younger than the ones who didn't take pot. So something to think about.
Yeah, definitely.
Most of I mean, kids are, you know, teenagers and young people are smoking, and so may predispose them for early strokes.
Yeah, well, that's good to know anyway. All right, National Geographic going to air the first live brain surgery on television. Dr. Jonathan Miller said, "We hope to demystify brain surgery, diminishing the fear and stigma." First of all, if you need a brain surgery, you don't have a lot of choice in it anyway, right? So it's not like people are going to be like, oh, now I'm comfortable, now I'll go ahead and get that brain surgery, because you don't really have a choice. But secondly, I just want to say this. I've always wanted a nose job. I don't like my nose. I watched a nose job on YouTube. I will never have a nose job. Nobody ever has to worry about me having a nose job, because once I saw
marketing,
that, no, not good marketing. I don't think this is going to work the way he thinks it's going to work.
It's interesting because, you know, you just watch these in sci-fi movies, but actually I saw a clip, and what they were doing is deep brain stimulation. So there's parts of the brain that, you know, can be activated, and actually there's some real neurosurgery cases where the patients have to be awake, even if they want to be asleep, because it's freaky, right?
Yeah.
Someone's like playing and doing stuff in your brain and you're awake. I think I'd want to be asleep, but sometimes you don't have a choice. And so I guess the idea is that, you know, just like in my field in cosmetic dermatology now, before people used to be put under general anesthesia to have lipo, now we do it all awake. I think that is the trend, because general anesthesia does add a little bit of increased risk. And then in neurosurgery, you have to know exactly what parts of the brain you really need to activate, deactivate, and so having the patients awake is crucial in some cases.
Wow, fascinating stuff. I don't know, I think that...
I think I'd want to be asleep.
I think I'd want to be asleep too. I did watch my own wisdom teeth be removed though. I asked if I could stay awake and watch in a mirror, and my dad was doing it. So I watched the whole thing, and I actually thought it was really cool to watch.
Well, there you go.
So some people,
yeah, it just depends.
Things were weird. All right, well, thank you for being with us, Dr. Tess. I hope your marriage stays intact after your recommendation.
I know.
Coming up next, our rapid fire round.